Hello and welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be drawing some heads. Why some heads? Because that's what I've been drawing in my other sketchbooks, so we're going to do it here too. Alrighty. Now we're going to draw just 4 heads. I could fill this page with more, but I want to keep this video in a watchable length. So we're going to just draw 4. And we're going to erase this because I kind of made that the wrong size. But I think I'm going to draw 2 girl heads and 2 guy heads. They'd probably go 2 girl, 2 guy like that, but just to differ the hair. But that's what we're doing today. Drawing hair. I said heads, but I really mean the hair is what we're doing, because I don't plan on adding facial features. I'm not going to worry too much about the chin yet, because, well, I want to add the hair first before I worry too much about that. There's halfway in the circle, there's that. Alright, so her eyes would be about maybe there-ish to there, where that line was. So her hair would be here. I'm measuring it out right now, trying to come up with what I want her hair to look like. We'll give her some of the flat bangs. Bring that to the edge. That probably went down a little too far, but that's okay. We'll definitely break this part up into multiple pieces, but we'll worry about that when we're adding the detail. Gonna go ahead and make sure we add more detail. Alright, there we go. We're gonna give her, like, what is this? That's bangs. I don't know what these are, but we're gonna give her 2 pieces in the front of her face. They go like that. And this one will go like that, but we'll need to thin how that goes out. That's fine though, still. Alright. And then we're going to want to give her, a little circle around her head still, because, well, still goes around the head. Where her hair is. Alright. There's her hair. And then where's her ears gonna go? Probably, the ears are like right under the eyes, right? So like, we'll just go ahead and put some shapes there. And right there. Although that ear wouldn't actually be seen because the hair is pushed out farther. And then that alone, looks a little boring, right? We could also put some hair back here. I don't plan on giving her a neck, but we'll worry about that hair later. We're going to give her little, I don't know, like ponytails, kinda. These are kind of like ponytails. Yeah, I don't really like what that one looks like, but we can add the detail after, and we can make this one look correct so that we can have something to base the other one off of. Right, we'll still go ahead and take that shape into consideration, and then curve that, go like that, and curve that. Now it's a little too small, but I think I'd take that general shape and paste it onto this one. But there we go. There's 1 head out of 4. But we're going to do what you shouldn't do if you're trying to do a lot of things, and we're going to finish this one first and then move on to the others. Alright, go ahead and lightly do that, and then we'll take Mr. Lime, and we're actually going to have to use Mr. Orange here. We never use Mr. Orange. I don't really like him because he's usually too small, but when adding smaller details in the hair, he's actually very convenient to have. I don't know what point he is. He's like 0.5 or something? 0.5, yeah. Mr. Lime's 0.7. we'll go ahead and get this in here. Go ahead and do that. Kind of do the same over here. Alright, where's Tiny Eraser? The Tiny Eraser don't got a name. I'm sure I've named it at one point, but I don't remember it, so it doesn't have a name. Alright. Then this, I still think is too far down and too wide to the side, but we're not going to move it because I think overall it's not terrible placement, so we're going to keep it. Also, we could probably make her whole head bigger, but I don't think I'm gonna, but I might, I don't know. Alright. And we'll also go ahead and add tiny linies to these drawings too, which we'll do all of the tiny linies last, because the tiny linies will be a time lapse. But we will do the tiny linies because, well, I haven't used my tiny linies in quite a while. It has been a very long time since I've used them. I think the last time I used them was when I was on vacation. And I think it was for like, I don't know, it was either the last page in my sketchbook that I used them in, or the first page in this sketchbook that I'm drawing in right now. I can't remember if I tiny lined the first page. I don't know. That's too wide though. We need this to be thinner because, well, we did kind of do a little bit of a whoopsie and make it kind of lean that way when it should curve inward more. And go ahead and go with that. That and that. And still not the best effect though, so I think we're just gonna have to get rid of that line right there. I was trying to give it more character than the other one by trying to give it some differentness, but it's not really working out, so we're just gonna give it no character, sadly. But that's fine. We'll go ahead and add an ear. Go ahead and add another ear, which I usually neglect to add ears whenever I draw anything. Even when I'm just drawing heads practicing, I always forget to draw ears, because they're just something I never think about. I never consciously think about, oh yeah, ears exist, so I always forget to draw them. Right, we're not adding any face details, so we don't need to worry about those. But I do think I'm gonna make it bigger. Not a large amount bigger. I don't want too big or too much bigger, but I just want bigger. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be like super big, but it needs to be bigger than it was. Alright. That should be good enough. It's a little iffy on the top, but you know that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and add some detail lines from the top of the head and add some in there. That was a little whoopsie with that line, but that's fine. Alright, now we'll go ahead and we'll start with this one. Alright, that's not exactly perfect. Could have made the indent a little bigger. But That's okay. That's acceptable. Now we'll just have to make this one the same though. We could try to make it better, but I don't want to. I kind of would rather them be pretty much the same. Although in all reality, most likely if you were to tie two of these things, they're going to look different because of, well, how hair works. They're going to look different. But this is a drawing, so it does not matter. That looks alrighty. Should I add details in it? I mean, I should probably add some lines. Alright, there we go. Alright, I think these things are a little shorter than they could be. Like these could be longer, but overall this is a good drawing. I don't know how long that took me. I'm gonna look. That was 10 minutes, so this would be 40 minutes if I were to do two more. So we're only going to do one more. We're gonna do a guy right here, and then we will do the other two, but they will be time-lapsed. I will do, even though I've got like an entire page to fill still in my other sketchbook, I'll still do the other ones because, well, I don't want to leave the page more empty than I need to leave it, because I would like to fill these pages as much as I can. And to differentiate between the girl and the guy, I'll try to give him a broader chin, although we did make his face kind of slimmer unintentionally. But how are we going to do his hair? I did not think about this. I have been drawing primarily girl hair. I don't know. I could use reference, but I was using reference before, so I don't need to now. I can think of it on my own. I can think of something on my own. I don't know. Let's go ahead and start with actually making the rest of the head. A lot of the times when I draw guys, I end up doing this with the head. The entire original circle that I ended up drawing doesn't matter anymore because I changed the shape of the face, which is actually why I've been drawing primarily girls, because then I keep the actual size that I put, because I just make the chin wider, which you could say just make the chin wider, but then I will say that is a fair point. I just didn't think of it until right now, the second when I said it. Why is that out of place? Right, if you can't tell, I'm just rambling because I really don't know what I'm supposed to do. The circle would be right here now, right? Well, then that would leave a pretty large face. Eyes here, hairline there. Let's just go ahead and start drawing hair. But what does guys' hair look like? A lot of times in cool designs, I think they have it like where it swoops to the side, but a lot of times when I try to draw that, I do it quite wrong. And with the hair that's pulled back, I don't know how to draw the connection of the hair to the forehead. Alright, I think I'm just gonna give him what I think is somewhat basic guy hair, and by that I mean I'm just gonna start drawing things and hope it turns out right. We're going to add that. If the chin ends up being in the wrong place, it is okay. I can move the chin. Can always move the chin, that is fine. We'll add that in the middle, and then kind of some, we're gonna add some hairs on the sides, and then we'll go ahead and do that. Maybe add like a hair like that, and then like the hair on the top of the head goes from like this to, ooh, there's a hair strand there, and then right there, and there, and there. This is kind of big hair because I did make this head very long unintentionally. But it doesn't look terrible, it's just not great. You know what, alright, we're gonna accept this, just so I don't end up spending like way too long on this. But since I'm going to be just time-lapsing the other two drawings, I think that I might draw more difficult hair, or not more difficult hair, I think I might draw more difficult face poses. Like, I find this very easy straight ahead. That is why I chose straight ahead for this video, because I was like, oh, straight ahead, I should be able to draw that relatively quickly. I can fill these pages within the time. But then obviously that didn't go to plan, but that's fine. But like, if I am going to be doing it time-lapsed, I can take as much time as I want, because, well, it's a time-lapse. Who the fuck's gonna stop me? Alright. So I may do 3/4, maybe side view, I don't know. I don't really like drawing characters in side view. I just don't think it looks as good as like 3/4 view or straight ahead. I think straight ahead can also look boring, but I think overall that's probably like the safest option, because it's easy to draw and it doesn't look bad. It's just not like, oh wow, what amazingness this is. Alright. I think 3/4 view is probably the best view to draw someone at. It looks the coolest in my opinion. But also in my opinion, it's like the easiest to make it look really fucking stupid. Because if you like have the 3/4 view like at this, but then you lean too much this way, but it's not fully this way, I think that looks kind of weird. There are just some positions that just don't look correct. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a really good artist or whatever, the position just doesn't look correct. But like, also, it doesn't matter. You can draw whatever the fuck you want. That's just my opinion. Alright. I could probably add more detail to this. Well, that part's kind of shitty, isn't it? Let's go ahead and fix that now, shall we? Still kind of shitty, but we're gonna keep it this time. Alright. We'll go ahead and give this guy detail by giving him a bunch of these. Also, since I'm going to be using my tiny linies and I haven't done that in quite a while, I could also try doing something I've never done, which is fill in the hair with all black and then like give it the white highlights. But I don't know if I'll do that though, because also if you do that though, I feel like you need facial features to make it not look empty. But also I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not professional. Alright, should I give him one of those like little, what is this, cowlick or whatever? Is that what they call it? I don't know. He got a little thingy. Little dingly dangle. Alright, I'll be back once the time lapse is over of these two. Alrighty. Got myself some hair. That one took a while. This one didn't take that long. But I think overall they look decent. I did do the jaw differently on this one. Like I was saying when I drew that one, I did this one a little differently. This one kind of leans this way. This one, hair's a little bit big on this. We'll try to do our best to fix those issues when I add the tiny linies. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alrighty, I'm done. I did mess up the tiny linies in a couple places. Technically, right there, where it looks like the biggest mess up, that was not a mistake. I was intending to fill her entire hair black, but I changed my mind halfway through. So yes, that does look like a mistake. But it's technically not. But whatever. This one looks really good. It's shaky and a little feathery on the edges some areas. This one is pretty good. Most of the tips lost their sharpness though, but you know, what are you gonna do? This one I think turned out pretty good. Alright, I don't have anything else to say. I forgot to write the page number, so I have no idea what page this is, but bye bye.